Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, 1770 to 1831, was a prominent figure in the 19th century movement known as German Idealism. Hegel rephrased the world in terms of consciousness, which is what idealism means. Hegel's work has had a significant impact on Marx, a materialist, as Marx was captivated by Hegel's use of Heraclitus's idea of dialectic to explain how society has unfolded throughout history. Hegel was born at a time when the Holy Roman Empire was coming to an end and the French revolutionaries would sweep aside medieval feudalism to usher in new foundations of democratic republicanism. Hegel started his schooling early, attending German schools in Stuttgart and Latin schools. At age 18, he attended Tübingen Seminary, where he found theology tedious and became interested in philosophy. Hegel made friends Friedrich Schelling and Friedrich Hölderlin, who later became leading lights in the German idealist movement. At 19, Hegel and his comrades heard the news of the French Revolution, which inspired the nation into a radical new society. After completing his 5-year course at Tübingen, Hegel took up a position as a tutor for one of Bern's wealthiest families. Hegel worked through Edward Gibbon's History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, which became a major source of inspiration for his work. In January 1801, Hegel received an invitation from Schelling to join him in Jena, a university known for its post-Kantian idealist philosophy, Weimar classicism, and German Romantic literature. Hegel began an affair with his landlady Johanna Burckhardt at the age of 37, who fell pregnant with their son Ludwig. Hegel worked tirelessly on his first major work, Die Phenomenologie des Geistes, the Phenomenology of Spirit. It proposed dialectical idealism, which argued that society's evolution is shaped by invisible, often contradictory forces. In 1806, Napoleon's armies entered Jena, and Hegel moved to Bamberg to take up employment as a newspaper editor. He left his baby Ludwig and Johanna behind, promising to return to marry her soon. In April 1807, Hegel published the Phenomenology of Spirit. It was inspired by his study of history, observations of the French Revolution, and Kant's conclusion that the real world could never be truly known. The book initially received modest responses due to its difficult-to-read style, but as readers understood the ideas, appreciation grew. Hegel began looking for a wife more in line with his newfound status. In 1808, he was offered a prestigious position in Nuremberg as rector of its leading high school, where he met Marie von Tucker, the daughter of a respected Nuremberg patrician. After his wedding, Hegel published his second highly acclaimed work, The Science of Logic, which helped him achieve his goal of appointment to a professorship of philosophy. After 2 years at the University of Heidelberg, he was offered an even more prestigious position at the University of Berlin. Hegel arrived in Berlin in 1818, the capital of Prussia and a thriving center for music and arts. Berlin society welcomed him and his elegant wife with open arms, and at 48, he had reached a peak in his career. Hegel's lectures were well attended, and his stutter and obscure manner of speech became part of his charm and intrigue. On hearing news of Johanna's death, Hegel rescued his illegitimate son from an orphanage and took him into his family along with the 2 sons that Marie had borne him. Ludwig did not fit into Hegel's wealthy bourgeois household, and Hegel felt torn between his duties to his wife and her sons and his obligations to Ludwig and his late mother. In 1821, Hegel published his third major work, The Philosophy of Right, which laid out his thoughts on political philosophy. He argued that law was the cornerstone of the modern state, but was disappointed that this book was interpreted by many as demonstrating sympathies with the right-wing Prussian monarchy. Hegel's life at home was increasingly disrupted by conflict with Ludwig, who he eventually ejected out of the house and disowned after he found him stealing money from the family kitty. In 1831, along with everyone else in Prussia, Hegel found himself alarmed by reports of a cholera pandemic tracking across Asia towards Europe. When the first case of cholera hit Prussia that August, all slaughterhouses, schools, and other public buildings were closed. And royal orders were given for all coins and mail to be fumigated with smoke or sulfur. After his death, Hegel's influence resembled the moving tides of history he described in his philosophy, as his followers split into two opposing camps. The left Hegelians, who believed further revolutionary changes were needed, and the right Hegelians, who ardently defended the Prussian monarchist state.